again, we want to congratulate the Corps Cadets, those who graduated, prospective Corps Cadets. I didn't know prospective Corps Cadets had lessons. Man, you guys are tough. It's really clear, I know the Corps Cadets understand that they have made a lot of good choices in their lives, choices that haven't always been applauded by the world. And that's why it's so important that you come here and sense the greatness and the godliness for the choices that you have, the reaction to those choices that you have made. I think that we all know by now that life is about choices, isn't it? We make choices every day. You might not think that everything you get to do is by your choice, but you certainly choose whether or not you do it or not. So let's remember this weekend that life is about choices, and of course living right is also a choice. You remember our verse from yesterday. Let me read this verse again. Strength, courage. Don't be timid. Don't get discouraged. God, your God, is with you every step of the way. Take that verse with you this weekend as you return to the world, the community, the neighborhood that God has prepared for you. I don't know how many of you have read Dr. Seuss lately, but it's always good to kind of not take ourselves so seriously and just remember some of our childhood. So I just want to remind you of the guy who couldn't make up his mind. Did I ever tell you about the young Zode who came to two signs in the fork of the road? He looked one way and the other way too. The Zode had to make up his mind what to do. Well, the Zode scratched his head and his chin and his pants, and he said to himself, I'll be taking a chance. If I go to place one, that place may be hot, so how will I know if I like it or not? On the other hand, I feel such a fool if I go to place two and find that it's too cool. In that case, I may catch a chill and turn blue, so place one may be best and not place two. On the other hand, though, if place one is too hot, I might get a terrible earache and die. On the other hand, though, if place two is too low, I might get some terrible pain in my toe. So place one may be best. And he started to go. And then he stopped and said, on the other hand, but on the other hand, other hand, other hand. For 36 hours and a half, that Zode made starts and made stops at the fork in the road, saying, no, don't take a chance, it may not be right. Then he got an idea that was wonderfully bright. Play safe, cried the Zode. I'll play it safe, I'm not a dunce. I'll simply start off to both places at once. And that's how the Zode, who would not take a chance, went no place at all with a split in his pants. As you leave here today, friends, to a world of choices and decisions, just remember to choose to lean into your faith and not your fears. Last night, if we learned anything about 1 Peter 1, we learned that our salvation is in our faith. Our hope is in our faith. Our treasures are found in our faith. Our home is in our faith. Our eternal home is in our faith. Lean into your faith as you go home this week, not into your fears, as the devil would have us to do. A little girl was sitting in the living room with her parents when she asked her dad if he would make her a dollhouse. Sure I will, honey. And he went back to reading his newspaper. A few minutes later, he looked up and said to his wife, where did Katie go? Oh, replied the mom, she has faith that you're going to make her the dollhouse. And she went to get her dolls ready. Lean into your faith this week, friends. He will do what he has promised to do. And to keep on track with our faith, when you leave this place, start making decisions this week, even though they might be hard decisions. Try to remember to choose to point upward in your life and not inward. This is a life principle As David said, being a Corps Cadet is a lifestyle. This is a life principle that will keep you out of a lot of difficult situations that may be too hard to turn around in your life. Choose to point upward to God in your life, not inward to yourself. There is only one God, 1 Corinthians 8:6 says, the Father who created everything. And this is what we have to remember. We exist for Him. He is in charge of it all, says Ephesians 1:22. He has the final word on everything. At the center of this, Christ rules the church. My friends, it's all about Him. It is all about Him. Take that with you this weekend, from this weekend. Do you remember being taught in school that for as brightly as it shines at night, the moon does not generate its own light? I'm sure you know this and much more about science things, but its brightness comes from merely reflecting the bright light from the sun. Apart from the sun, the moon is only a big, black, pock-marked rock. But let her do what she was made to do, and that rock becomes inspirational and even quite romantic. While we are commanded to be light in this dark world, friends, we have the light of our own. That's why it has to be all about Him. We only reflect the light of the world. When we choose to live right, we choose not to point towards ourselves, but rather we choose to point towards God. Not inward, but upward. Not self-centered, but Christ-centered. So let's read this verse together, remembering that it's all about Him. Read with me. Not to us, O Lord, not to us, but to your name be the glory. It has been a great, great weekend here at Camp Tomahawk the past 2.5 days, and we hope that you felt welcomed here. We hope that you have felt safe and loved, and you found a place of grace in this place. And now it's time to go in a few hours. So as you leave this place, remember to choose to lean into your faith and not your fears. And He will do what He has promised. Remember to choose to point upward with the decisions you make in your life, not inward. And watch as God takes your ordinary obedience and He turns it into something extraordinary. Now next year, we don't want to see any zones with a split in their pants because they didn't know which way to go. They couldn't make up their minds. No zodes in this beautiful division. Let's be like Nike Christians. Let's just do it. God bless you.